Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was up in Dún Laoghaire on Rochestown Avenue,
Okay.
near the rehabilitation hospital.
Yes.
Yesterday evening for the opening of the Dún Laoghaire 50th anniversary Champion of Champions tournament.
It's a really nice idea. Actually, you know what? I'm surprised no one thought of doing this sooner, to get a group of 8 Irish champions who won 20 titles between them to actually play a tournament. And it's exciting stuff. Now, I haven't had a chance to see any of the games because I've been working literally till an hour ago, and to hear about them. So, Jonathan, you were at the opening ceremony yesterday. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
It was fairly small. There weren't a lot of people at it, apart from the players and the functionaries and people who were involved. It's Dún Laoghaire Club is 50 years old, and some of the people they had there. It's for the last 25 years. It's been in the Ablana Club, near the church in the centre of Dún Laoghaire. And it's a great venue, and they're lucky to have it, and they're delighted to have it. And Ablana Club is also delighted to have them. So there were a couple of people from the Ablana Club that were there.
It's one of the nicest venues in Dublin, if not in the country. I remember they organised a GM Norm and an IM Norm event there for another occasion. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but it's really great that they're marking the 50th with this event, which is just some of the top Irish champions we've had down the years. Of course, I couldn't qualify because I never actually won the Irish Championships.
Mark, I couldn't qualify despite having being 4-time over 50s Irish champion. That doesn't count either.
Jonathan, we're just going to have to try harder, and maybe. And maybe when Dún Laoghaire are having their 100th anniversary, we might be getting invited at that stage.
Yeah. So, anyway, I stayed for most of round one, and we'll have a quick look at the Joe Ryan against John Delaney. That was a very nice game. It was a very good example of an English. One of those kind of Englishes against a closed Sicilian type position for black. Black tries to attack on the king side, white tries to attack on the queen side.
Oh, we have to take a quick look at it. So it starts off with knight f3.
One moment. Yeah. I have to. Oh, sorry, I'm still not quite right. How am I going to? I just have to make this slightly bigger for everybody. Oh no.
Yeah, Joe was based in Spain, so he must have come back specially for the event. And of course, John Delaney is one of Ireland's greatest players, coming from a very illustrious family tradition. His brother Paul, his sister Anne Delaney, all Irish internationals and former Irish number ones in women and men's chess. And interestingly, I think John has 2 international master norms, which are still actually valid. They used to go out of fashion, and he also won a silver medal for Ireland at the Thessaloniki Olympiad in 1988.
That's right.
He's one of those players who disappears from Irish chess for a couple of years and then comes back, and the creativity in him is latent as always. He's super dangerous.
Yeah, and he's just back from playing, I think, the European team senior championships or maybe European Senior Championships. Anyway, he beat a couple of GMs.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. We must take a look at those games in another.
Anyway, we're not going to dwell too much on this. But this was like John trying to get a Dutch Leningrad.
He's trying to get a Dutch Leningrad, and Joe's basically going into an English. Now, it's interesting, these sorts of positions I'd expect to see in this tournament, but played by Colm Daly, who's a bit of an expert in these lines and has played them for decades. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that I've had this position as white against Colm Daly on at least one occasion when I was junior. And it's interesting, John is doing everything he can to entice Joe to play d4, but he doesn't take the bait.
Doesn't take the bait. But that does mean that John can easily play. He gets his pawn to e5 without any effort, which makes things a bit easier.
So we're in a reverse closed Sicilian.
We are
actually. And the question is, can White use the extra tempo to his advantage here?
And off he does. Here he's pushing that b pawn, and he's going to push it on to b5, and he's going to try and open up some lines on the queen side. And black is going to do the same. Black is going to, on the king side, black is going to play probably g5 and whoops. No, I don't want to play that.
Well, it's interesting. Mark Hebden plays these systems. Mark Hebden, who played at the last big Dún Laoghaire tournament, and one of the best games I've seen in this line is actually a win by David Fitzsimons as white against Mark Hebden in this system for him to get his last international master norm, I think, in a tournament in the UK a couple of years ago. That was a stellar standout game from David. And very hard to beat Mark Hebden, of course,
Indeed,
Grandmaster.
indeed.
But it was exactly in this type of position as well. So H6 is slightly slow from John there. I think maybe a lot of players here would go A6. And A6 with the idea that after A4, in some systems, you might even play A5. You can do that. It's possible.
So you don't want to let b5 and chop and open the a file for your rook. Is that not a good idea?
Well, you can't. Well, the thing is, you can, of course, and you can focus maybe on playing King H8 here. Sometimes E4 is even possible early enough. I'm not really 100% sure.
Of course, I'm a kind of a classically trained chess player, so I want to bring my bishop out. I want to put my bishop to E6, and
but knight G5 is really annoying then, probably.
I suppose, so, yeah.
And then the problem is the bishop on G2 is X-raying the pawn on B7.
Okay, so maybe that's why he played H6. Okay,
to prepare that. Yeah.
So we had B5. Now it went to E7. A4, and now I want to play bishop E6.
Yeah, and
he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He played instead. He went for glory, playing for the brilliancy prize. Mark.
To be honest, G5 is a very natural move. I mean,
it is.
At this stage, if you're not going to contest the queen side, you may as well go for glory. So these whole systems with G5, I'll be honest, I used to always have these white positions against someone like Colm Daly, and I was always terrified of getting mated on the king side.
But Joe played this very nicely, or else John didn't go fast enough for the king side, for Joe's throat. So we had bishop A3, just developing the last piece, possibly trying to play C5, I guess.
I'm just wondering, sometimes in these positions, this setup is a bit slow for white, can you actually immediately go for an E4 idea as well? I know that G5 is played to facilitate knight G6, but a move like E4 has to be sort of on the cards here as well, because the bishop on G7 is looking at the knight on C3. Yeah. And I think that might be a slight oversight from Joe there. I mean, obviously the engine's not running here.
No.
Because if you go knight F to D2 here, I'm just looking at this idea to go E3 and after pawn take, and then knight G4. And suddenly it's getting complicated. Now there might maybe you can get away with I mean, knight D5, knight takes possibly.
Knight takes, bishop takes
check, and just quietly go king to H8. And I know that this threat of knight it takes E3. I don't like Joe's setup here. Actually, I think it may be slightly inaccurate.
Well,
it's Queen E8. Yeah.
Queen E8. Queen E8, and no, but here I'm way ahead of you. Way ahead of you, boy.
Okay. C6 trapping the bishop. Yes. But you've also got lots. By the way,
you always have something up your sleeve, Mark, don't you?
Well, the D6 pawn is hanging there, right? Okay, so maybe there's even something stronger than C6 because the D6 pawn is hanging. Like maybe in that position, you even have some tricks with knight takes E3 because you've got bishop D4 coming as well, followed by F4. I mean, it just all feels very loose.
Okay, so let's just put that on the.
I think it's definitely got the investment. I mean, maybe this doesn't work, but it's certainly tempting bishop D4 here, isn't it?
But it would be fantastic, except
Okay, but you're not supposed to play moves like that
return of the bishop.
without telling me. Okay, but now I'll play bishop takes.
Actually, wouldn't the
and then c6 trapping the bishop, and the pawn on d6 doesn't fall.
Okay.
But I've sacrificed the knight on e3 unnecessarily. But I think this doesn't really work. c6 does win the bishop, but this is a better ending for white. White's winning here.
Do you think?
Yeah, because with a strong knight on d5, you just this is bust. There was no need to give up the knight on knight takes e3 there. Mm-hmm. So, but it just I wondered about a4. Is it that necessary? And I know that a lot of players, they do try to shore up this that
a4.
They want to stop e4 somehow from black, mm-hmm. and I just think you're playing too many moves on the queen side, and e4 is interesting.
So and what would you in this position? What would you have played it for white, as you used to play the English a lot as white?
Here,
yeah.
Well,
would you just play? Here. You would. I mean, you're not going to be playing bishop b2 because you're blocking your rook then.
No, you don't want to go bishop b2, but you do have moves like c5 straight away sometimes, and you do have moves like queen b3. But I if you play one c5 by white here is an idea as well, which I was looking at in the previous move. And that might be a little speculative here. I know we're going quite deep into the position here, maybe too deep. Okay. But there's this c5 just with the idea that if c5 is played there, the pawn on e5 is hanging after pawn takes. The one thing that just is a little disclaimer there. So if you go c5 there, maybe for a second, if pawn takes, knight takes e5, it looks as if the two knights are very vulnerable, but you always have a queen b3 check to save your blushes if either queen d4 or the knight on f6 moves away. But the key move there, obviously, after that would be, instead of taking on c5, to play e4.
Yes, that C5. Again with your similar.
And it's much more active. I think the a4 a5 idea is a little bit slow, and I know it seems counterintuitive to break in the center, but it does feel. I mean, at the very least, So I mean, there's problems there if e4 pawn takes pawn straight away.
Okay. Oh, which pawn takes pawn?
D takes e4.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And d takes e4.
Yeah.
And you can even maybe play pawn takes d6 here, you see, because you've got...
cunning.
Pawn takes e7. I'm not sure. I can't calculate this. It's
Friday night.
Yeah. Well, it's yes. Pawn takes... so you're threatening, so he's got to play queen takes queen.
Okay. Oh, but...
And pawn takes rook check.
We have the Zwischenzug, Mark. Zwischenzug. or as you might say with your beautiful Italian, intermezzo.
Intermezzo, sì, grazie. Yeah, c'è un intermezzo bello qui di mangiare la torre prima. Yeah, pawn takes f8 check.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Okay, let's go. Anyway, that we've been having fun.
There's a lot for us to unpack here on another day in this line. It's interesting. So, but a4 anyway.
But he played a4, g5, and bishop a3, and now here I think John should have just brought out the bishop, because he doesn't have to worry about it being attacked. He gets another piece helping to control the d5 square, and his rook then can go places, and things can, but he didn't do that, and I thought he played knight g6, which is it's all right.
He's missing a big trick again though there, Jonathan. Just if you go back, I hate to say it, but like just e4
again.
Yeah, because after e4, if pawn takes, you just drop the knight into g4, and the bishop is attacking the knight on c3.
Yeah.
Although maybe I'm wrong. I mean, no, maybe. Sorry. It shouldn't. You just go back and you play. You might even be able to play knight takes e4 here, or f takes e4.
Let's try just knight takes, and what happens here?
Pawn takes, and where does the knight go? The pawn on e4 is weak though, so
you can go here though. You can go to d4.
Yeah, so maybe it's not such a bright idea. Knight f5. because with pressure on d4.
Okay. Yeah, this would.
I mean, there's a lot of ways the game could have progressed here, and the question is that bishop on a3 doing that much?
Yeah.
And if knight takes f5, bishop takes f5, you'd have to say that black has actually achieved.
Oh no! And of course, and look at this. I was about to say then white takes the pawn on b7, but sadly, this pesky pawn is blocking.
Well, he's got queen d5 check, so he can grab the pawn.
He can grab
and this is the thing, so he doesn't have that many structural weaknesses, white, so maybe queen d5 check, king h8, queen takes b7. But it's a very rich position with lots of ideas in it.
Lots of ideas, lots of fun.
I mean, we're only skirting the surface of the possibilities here. In terms of what might have happened to him. So maybe let's go and see what happened anyway. So
he played a5, but here you see the thing is, I think again, I'd want to play a6 here for black, just to stop that pawn going all the way.
Yeah,
and it's this position reminds me of the some of the King's Indian attack positions, French style, that with black pushing these pawns up here, like on the queen side. But I know it's a bit funny because it's funny. This is you know those suits where you have some cabaret artist, and they have a suit, and the right half of it is a men's suit and the left half of it is a dress. Right.
All right. Well, I actually haven't seen any, but I'm sure that there's. I haven't seen any in person, but okay. I believe you that they exist.
But they do exist, and they were certainly a big part of my childhood on English comedy shows.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So, but this position reminds me of that because the left-hand side of this position is like the black side of a King's Indian, a French King's Indian attack, and the white side, the right side is like the normal position of the white pieces on the right hand side of the King's Indian attack. So this is the white and the black all on the one board.
And it's amazing because you can forget easily here when it's so expansive, the whole position, in sense that is that it's no pawn has been exchanged at this point. There's no piece been exchanged, no pawn, and yet both sides have ample space to maneuver, and have created their own little projects. White on the queen side, black on the king side, and it becomes a bit of a race here. I do like a6 though. I think that's a strong suggestion there.
I like. Instead, John went for rook e8, and I don't really like that because again, I guess now he's suddenly figured out he does want to play e4. But he's allowing a6, and this is a dream position for white in this kind of English position. And
he's looking at exchanges here, and the pawn. Yeah, I think that ultimately now he may already be positionally bust, unless he's got a knockout blow on the king side. But John does sacrifice lots of material. Like, he's not afraid. He's not averse to it. And he's found a way, at the very least, to activate that bishop on the long diagonal.
Yeah, so now you can see this.
It's an interesting idea. It's very creative, as always.
Yeah, and then we get this. Again, suddenly I'm thinking as white. Oh, I've my lovely white square bishop has been swapped off, but I've got one pawn island here. Let me see if I can do this for everybody.
I don't understand why John is so reluctant to play e4 all the time.
Yeah.
This was another instance to immediately go e4 because you're not really in any danger on the light squares.
Yeah, and in this position, John has 2 pawn islands. So this is a little bit better. This is the kind of edge you want in the English in this position as white, I would think. Anyway, we moved on. The knight went up here. This was an interesting idea. It's to open lines on the queen side, and I guess Joe wants to target these pawns.
I'm just looking. I was trying to see if you could make a6 work. Pawn takes, exchange the rooks, and go queen a8. But he's actually got queen b7 there. Just
Oh yes, actually, but yeah, I actually looked. I know. Yeah, let me just show everybody. Yeah, A6. That is actually when I was looking at this yesterday, that was the computer recommendation.
Okay,
right. And the idea is, like you, I thought about rook takes, queen takes, and then queen to A8. But the machine, I think, offers you just go here, and it's very difficult to defend that pawn
because you've got queen C8. After queen A4.
Yeah, exactly. You go here, here, and if this, you've got bing.
Oh, that's mean. That's super mean.
That's super mean. Yeah, and
easy to miss that as well when you're heading into the line. Possibly,
and just want a rook. Yeah. So A6, you're spot on there, Mark.
Okay. Right.
John, you should be playing here.
I'm not allowed.
But you're not allowed. Yes. You are actually, not. You are not worthy.
Not really, yes, sometime. When I grow up, Jonathan, if I ever do, maybe someday I'll get the invitation to play.
So we had
qualify.
Queen D7 happened,
yes.
and again, this is I guess.
This is a very risky strategy from Joe.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if John took the pawn.
Yeah.
Is that also very risky?
That looks like a really clever thing to do in a way, because the D pawn. But you can always go. A few little things you can do here. Mm-hmm. I'd almost be tempted here to play pawn takes pawn.
For black, it's black's move now.
F takes E4.
Okay, but I'm just going to say thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, I blundered there. Sorry, long day. Okay. Sorry, first, so you have two choices here. You can go, well, the rook on E8's not doing very much.
Okay, so
you may as well play
okay, right, fair
rook
enough.
B8, yeah. So activate that fella.
Okay. And now... I'd love to be able to play... I originally I was thinking I should take on F5, but that's not.
But then knight E7, you can exchange rooks and go rook B1.
No, you can't. No, you're pinned. You're pinned. That's a devil of a pin.
Oh yeah, no. You could. What I'm saying is you can exchange rooks, as in rook takes B5 for white here.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Rook, white plays, so like if you play rook takes b5 here,
okay, and if queen takes,
well, I don't really want to exchange the queens, but it actually makes sense. I'd love to keep the queens on the board there, because I actually like black's position here. And I think black has got the better structure.
Mm-hmm. Black is better now, isn't he? Though here, this looks good.
Oh, black is actually a pawn up here. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So black is doing really well here,
and this doesn't seem to work, because
knight e7,
you're going, the one of these pawns is going to be dropping, or both of them are going to be dropping pretty quickly. Yeah,
you can't allow that. That's
so. What was
there lies madness, Jonathan. You don't want to do that.
What was
there lies madness?
What was Joe's idea here?
Joe's idea here.
Yeah, when he played this, he must have seen that he was happy to give up the B pawn. Like, I mean, I guess here he could play like a move like Queen A4.
Yeah, I mean that looks natural, because you're preparing Rook FC1.
Although that's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Because you've got that is a little awkward.
That is nasty.
Can you just go Rook FC1 here anyway?
Okay.
And after pawn takes pawn, let's say, you can go Queen C2. And I mean, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but you can.
We defend.
I suppose Rook E8 maybe, just to keep the. But you can. Well, now Queen C6. To be honest, it's gone wrong. Your best plan here is like go knight C4 to A5 to C6, but
I can still do it. I can still do it.
Yeah,
Mark.
it still doesn't really convince though, Jonathan. Yeah.
It doesn't convince, because I might be pinned when the knight gets to a5 with my bishop here.
I mean, black could just ignore it and just go e4 here. I mean, why not release that bishop from its cage?
As the song goes, please release me, let me go.
Once the knight's on c6, it's not doing anything; it's just blocking the c file.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
fair enough. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's that.
Yeah,
that.
This is definitely much better for black. I think that.
So why did he? What happened?
Maybe he saw that queen a4 a6 was good for black. So Joe is a pretty strong player, obviously. You know, he spotted that maybe his position had somewhat gone astray here. By the way, I really don't like knight d5, opening the c file that way. I thought that was the wrong idea, because you have a perfect pawn structure. Why would you create double pawns there? There's no danger on that file. The thing
in
is
fact,
that
what he should have done maybe is just prepare it, or look at that juicy square there. I can get there, Mark. I can get there here to here to here, and well,
you've got to be. I mean, the way to play that is probably now to go e4. Funnily enough, if you want to, because
for white.
Yeah, for white. If you're going to do this, you may as well play e4 there first.
Okay. So to block the bishop.
Yeah, to block.
And also you're blocking this bishop. You're blocking the rook as well. The rook is now on a stupid square.
Yeah.
So.
And then if f4 by black, maybe you just go h3.
Okay.
Like, I don't see any immediate
Mark,
breakthrough there. Let's go on. Yeah.
We want to. I'm just gonna. This is a game, folks. It's worth looking at. We have. I will put up a link to a Lee chess study. All the games that we are looking at today, and the ones that I'm choosing for the Brilliancy Prize, are in this study. They're available to anybody to look at, and it's open on Lee Chess. I put the link up on the Irish Chess Union website. Actually, I'll put the. Mark, can you? If you can share the link in the Twitch window, the Twitch chat, please.
Sure, I can do that. Yeah, no problem.
But while that's happening,
will you show us really fast how the game ended?
The queen went up here to h5, and this is where things started going definitely wrong for John. And it's funny, the white is suddenly attacking on the king side. The rook went over to worry the c pawn. This pawn was captured, and this is a big mistake, because this move is allowing it's giving away the pawn, the seventh rank, and black got into serious trouble. And there's a very nice move, knight to f3, threatening to play to take on g5 with check. Pawn can't recapture because it's pinned to the queen, pinned to the king. Sorry. So the bishop went here, and now to try and stop that, but then Joe just took the pawn with check. Very, very nice.
Oh.
Rook e7. The rook went back, says, I'm not going to take, I'm going to keep the pressure up. And basically all of black's pawns are starting to drop. And he tried trying to keep things going.
Could he not have taken the could he not have taken the d3 pawn there? Is there any merit in that? Just playing where the rook was on e7. I'm just wondering, was there any merit in just playing queen takes d3 there, or is he just
there? Well, okay.
Oh, I see. He's got a trick. So rook takes d6 wins.
Hang on. Yeah.
It's worth showing people that. Yeah.
I'm just going to show you now in a moment, because this is what happened here. John went here. He was down. He had 10 minutes left on the clock. Joe had 21 minutes, so they were comfortable enough on time. Joe played rook e6, and now John made the fatal mistake of taking this pawn. Can you see, Mark? And can our viewers?
So I'm just laughing because it's such a nice combo. Anyone could miss that
for white.
in at the end of a game. That's really tough. Queen takes G6 check. It's just like it's. Yeah. Okay.
That's
really unlucky.
The problem is that if the king captures, then this this knight captures on e5, and the bishop here will be pinned to the king because of the rook, and so the queen will drop, and therefore John resigned here because he was going to be down a whole piece.
Well, hard luck, John. I mean, he played a great opening. He had lots of possibilities. I actually preferred black for most of the game there.
Yeah.
Because I just think there was the early e4 break was very promising. Actually, the early e4 break in conjunction with h6 makes a lot of sense because it takes away the g5 square from the white knight. And it also made it impossible for the white knight to go to h4 because g5 would have won it. So anyway, that was good opening from John.
I thought that was an interesting game. David Fitzsimons had quite an easy win against Mark Heidenfeld. David played one of his favorite variations. He played. I played a game against him a few years ago in this, and he beat me very, very quickly. And I played all these kind of moves. And here, Mark plays knight up, and I don't like that now. What I play here in this position, I go back. I play this trick, and it's. I think actually what happens if you go here, you actually go here, which is mad. Because this knight has come all the way over from here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I played this. In fact, I agree with you. I lost a game a few years ago in the Italian team championships where I thought I was pretty well prepared for the game as well, and I played this system at knight e4, and it's exactly the line that Mark played here.
Right.
Knight takes d4. Yeah.
Mark, was that the Italian team championships or the Italian theme championships?
No, it was the team championships. So, it was unfortunately. Yeah, it was a tough game.
Anyway, we're just going to go briefly through this.
So takes c6, that's exactly it. And players here, they castle first, and after bishop c5.
Bishop f3, kicks the knight. So you play f4 again, and the knight goes back. And then you play bishop e3. And this is kind of one of these classic positions. It's been played for probably over 100 years, this position.
It became really popular because of Gawain Jones, the British Grandmaster who popularized it, and he also then he chose it as his attacking weapon in his coffee house chess repertoire.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was that's as always, Gawain produces really top notch chess content. I like the way Mark has played this, but that f pawn, if that f pawn ever gets going. Yeah. You're always frightened. There's like a sword of Damocles hanging over your head. True. That it could just come, but it does look as if white has good position. Black seems solid, but
okay. I mean, maybe Mark is doing okay here, but I felt certainly he's down half an hour on the clock, so David knows this inside and out. And I think
he's made a blunder there, by the way, by castling when he did.
Okay.
I think that in this sort of position, you have to actually immediately go bishop to b3.
Bishop to b6.
Maybe it makes or bishop to b6. Yeah.
There.
You need to immediately.
So you want to play c5 and get those pawns moving.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes a difference now. I look at it because the d pawn will be hanging after knight b3. Maybe it just transposes.
But if you can, so you go here immediately.
Yeah, you want to gain access to the c5 square. But maybe there's some benefit to not castling so fast. So I'm just wondering if there is.
Anyway, I'm going to charge through this because
go on,
we have quite a few games to look at. It kind of transposed or got into a similar position. It has transposed
now, yeah.
And I didn't like this rook f7, but I mean, I don't know. I would have wanted to do something with my queen rook. This thing, I would have moved it maybe, I don't know where, but somewhere.
I wonder, is there any merit? Well, see, the problem is in going a5 and trying to play queen b4 and exchange queens or something, but All those endings where the bishops get exchanged and the knight ends up on c5 are looking like good knight versus bad bishop endings, but maybe he's got enough play in the b file.
But again, I guess you're going to play here.
Oh, what about? Okay, so there's a few ideas here.
And maybe that rook, this rook has to stay protecting the a pawn for quite a while, doesn't it? I mean, white is never going to take off. White is never going to play. White's not going to do that to undouble your pawns.
No.
Anyway, it's a position with a lot of tension in it.
It feels better for white structurally. Long term.
Because of that c5 square.
Yeah.
So Mark played g5, just trying to do something, get some kind of play, but it seems. And I like this. This is a lovely trick.
That's a nice idea. Yeah,
it's a nice idea. It looks fancy, but unfortunately, it doesn't do much. And
it's a knight c5. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you have to play queen e7. He didn't. He took off here, and I guess he's hoping that he'll be able to do stuff with the
obstacle or bishop ending.
Bishops, but yeah, I think David just got all his pieces in, and he's threatening. He's going to be playing bishop d4 soon, or bishop h6, and he wants to mate. He wants to mate. Where's the magic square, Mark? Where's the magic square?
G7, F8. Two of them.
F8.
That's the major one.
Yeah, that's the major one. And there's like the rook and the queen, and so now Mark had to avoid nasties, and David just played this attack really, really well, and Mark's trying to do something he's trying to give up some material to get his rook into the game.
It's funny. It's not a line that I'd enter into gladly against David unless I was super prepared. And Mark doesn't get to play that much anymore. He's not a professional player.
No.
But I think maybe the Petrov defense would have been a better choice against David.
Yeah.
Maybe.
True.
Because the positions, I remember just the way that Mark managed to defeat Tarun Kanyamurala a number of years ago in an Irish Championships in a Petrov.
Okay.
And that was a pretty high level game from both Tarun and Mark, but he came out on top.
Right.
So he's a very experienced French defense player as well. But I remember a few years ago, David beat him in the advance in Kilkenny, so he decided to play something different here. So he's still fighting here though. Just the king is exposed.
But king is too open, and this is what happened, and it was just like, and now this move is killer. And Mark resigned. So I think that's the best game of the first round.
For people watching who may not know, Mark Heidenfeld, of course, the son of the great Wolfgang Heidenfeld, who was one of the great chess authors of the 1960s and 1970s, who was an international master in his own right. And Mark lives in Germany, of course, born in Ireland and brought up here. But he kind of came on the scene from nowhere in a way when he came back to start playing in Irish tournaments, won the Irish Championships, and he got his IM title in the Elista Olympiad in Kalamikia. Yeah. So really strong player, and he's a very hard guy to beat. So that's a good result from David there. He's super prepped at the moment. Yeah.
David is obviously on fire because this afternoon this morning he played Eamon Keogh, and he won quite easily, I would say.
Hello, Dad.
But
hello, Nathaniel. Good night, Nathaniel.
We will.
Oh, that's a pawn. You can have that. You take that pawn.
What if you use this for a pawn?
Yeah.
It's a big pawn.
That was you can tell the story of that pawn if you want, Jonathan. Just as this is the pawn that my son Nathaniel is fascinated by,
and it's
you might see it.
It was created by the Emanuel Lasker Gesellschaft, who are an organization based in Berlin, and they promote everything to do with Emanuel Lasker, the second world champion. And they were over in Dublin a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago actually, to play a match against the Irish team, and they won by a point. The Swines.
It's a great match. It was really a friendly match.
It was a friendly match. Yeah, good fun. Anyway, so this was David played Alex this afternoon, and I have to say I know this. I've never played the accelerated dragon, but I know what Alex does. I know you do.
Well, this is the hyper accelerated. dragon.
This is the hyper accelerated. Okay,
yeah.
so
and
you
actually,
don't.
It's funny. Well, I know.
You play it. So you play this. You play it like this, do you? And then you play G6.
And then play G6. Now I did play it back in the day, 20 odd years ago. It's interesting. There was a game a few years ago in the Armstrong Cup where Kilkenny were playing against Elmmount in Kilkenny, and Alex played a system like this with G6.
Yeah.
And David had a huge advantage out of the opening, but just missed a trick.
Okay.
And Alex won a really nice game. So David might have remembered that he missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
And Alex, obviously, he's avoiding a lot of David's maybe Alapin based systems here. So, but it's possible here just to play pawn takes d4.
Yeah, I don't think I know. I just play queen takes and
knight f6.
Knight f6. You don't want to blunder the rook like I was doing there.
Yeah, and then e5. Often played.
I think it's either e5 or it might be e5, knight here,
c6,
and then you
queen
go
a4.
Queen a4, and this is very dangerous for black. I don't know the bit of theory I know about just roughly up to here, and I'd be making it up after that. But
it's not a million miles away from an Alekhine defense if he goes knight d5 to b6. So Alex would be sort of like, I mean, like in a sense, he's the world expert on the Alekhine opening.
True.
He's not. I don't know the theory in this, but I do remember playing the white side of this in some online games a couple of years ago, and I was playing a guy who really knew the lines inside out. So it's a playable system.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't know. He went for something.
He went bishop g7, and that allows this. And again, I know this. I know up to a few moves. Play check, c3, then queen takes
c5.
The knight went here because it wants to go. It wants to go here, and it wants to try and do nasties here by kicking this queen around. The queen is a big target in these lines. Alex brought his knight out, and that's begging for e5. And this is the trick here. Now, in this position, Mark, do you know this? Do you know this variation?
No, I don't.
Okay, right. In this position, White has a lovely move, which basically just gets a grand position for White. Not an overwhelming position, but a good advantage, a comfortable advantage.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the problem here straight away is that it's not that White has a lead in development, but they've got better space. But that e-pawn is very weak. I suppose you'd find I can pretty much guess the move that was played here, because you have to defend the e5 pawn anyway, and the e5 pawn is actually attacked already 3 times.
Right.
So it's only defended
it's only defended once.
So actually here I would find the move queen d4, which I presume was played straight away because because there's no other move you can play.
And now you're threatening the queen, you're threatening the knight. If queen takes queen, the pawn, you play pawn takes queen, and everything's happy. So and this,
can you just take here anyway? Is this so bad for black? In fairness, I play positions like this. Just take and I know the threat of knight c7 is quite scary, but can you just go d5 there?
You could, but I'd probably play something like this, and I might even play this.
But that's okay, because this reminds me of lines in the Rossalimo, where the only drawback is
you're going to have f6 or.
Yeah, you're going to play. Well, you don't have to do anything yet. You actually don't have to play f6 yet, because g5, knight f5. So I would just play knight c6 here and keep developing maybe. No, knight c6 is a mistake. So you need to. You're keeping the knight in b8 to respond.
Is that because knight b5 now?
And knight c7 takes d5.
And then you go here and you're forking.
Yeah, but even there you can just go rook b8, because after knight takes d5 you might even have like rook d8, and the d pawn is kind of weak. You know, so if you go back there, we go back there in this situation.
Anyway, no, Mark, I'm not going to, because I want to get. I'm really trying to fight to get to the next game.
Yes,
and
okay, so, I want to see this one though. Go on.
Yeah, he played. Alex played d6, and that's according to the book I have. That's a bit too risky, because of knight b5, and Alex plays knight a6 to avoid losing the rook.
But Alex has seen sitting beside me on the Kilkenny chess team and the Irish team numerous times. Alex should know how to play these bad positions by just watching how I play them, because I'm always getting into terrible positions. But by choice, though, I actually like black's position there after d5. Weirdly enough, I'd have chosen black, not white.
Really? Okay.
In practical terms.
Right.
Anyway,
David brought out his pieces. He's playing. And Alex is just trying to do something. I think actually that's the book move here, would you believe, is g5.
Book move. So we're actually still in theory.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we're still in theory, then my idea of playing that d5 system is probably bad. Then there's probably some reason for it.
Right.
But g5, g5 is logical. Because you want to push the bishop back to g3.
You kind of get this thing, but you just go here, and like this is a great position for white.
Oh, I don't know. You can play this for black. I mean, you're playing black. Alex wants to keep some fighting chances as well. Like he wants to.
Fair enough.
Like he's a grandmaster. The thing is that he knows that David will go for him, so you need to provoke. But I think this is eminently playable. There's lots of
fair enough. Anyway,
I mean, Alex is a very good calculator tactically. Like in those two positions,
he does.
He's very strong.
He sees an awful lot. That's true. As I've learned to my cost. So anyway, he played bishop d7 at a4. So the knight.
This position is very easy for white to play, because the knight is now completely, on its own over there on.
It is
on a6, and it's not really. It's not having a grand old time of it. That being said, the knight in b5 also can't come into the game that easily, but it is holding that.
But it also look
at a8.
Exactly. It's just always threatening to take that, and so Alex has to keep his rook on a8, and also like
I think it's time for a really ugly move from Alex here. Bishop e6 has to be done. A really ugly move. So an ugly position calls for desperate measures and times. Offer to open up the F file, and the rook is now active on the F file. And let's see what would white do.
No, sorry, no, don't go there, because I'll be hit with knight f5. I'm going to go all the way back.
And now that we've played the ugly move, we need something good.
And Mark
c4. That was the idea originally, was to play c4 knight c5.
c4. Oh.
Yeah, I want to go c4 and knight c5. That's the reason I wanted to play it in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it's probably rubbish.
But actually, there's another idea. Apart from c5. There's also like rook f5, with the idea of knight f7, and then you pinch the e pawn.
Yeah, I mean, there's always resources in positions like this. I mean, now.
Yeah. You have a file for your rook. That's the thing, isn't it?
You've got a file for the rook now. It might actually be that ignoring the bishop and e6 is actually the right way to play, and you could play an ugly-looking idea like b3, offering to double your c pawns, because then you'll get play on the c file.
And now, did you never read Michael Steen's Simple Chess? He would be having. He'd be having heart attacks. He'd be getting
I know, but like if you think about it, well, see, the knight on a6 is locked out. There's no way in for the knight.
Yeah.
And if you take on c4, then you're basically giving white control of the b file as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the position is a little less clear than it might look. The real problem that black has is the bishop on the c4 square and the a2 to g8 diagonals controlling everything. So I don't know what the people watching feel here. If John, others are here, but I don't know. These sorts of it's weird.
Yeah,
these sorts of positions. If you can't play f6, you should always be looking for a way to release that bishop.
Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, in this position.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Alex, I'm never going to see him play bishop e6. That is not the player who he is.
I know, but it looks playable though.
It's the kind but it's the kind of move you'd play. But it's not the kind of move that Alex would play.
As I said, Alex just isn't used to having bad positions out of the opening every time like I do. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, the king went here, which was just trying to keep everything, join the rooks together. And now Alex played e6. He's desperately trying to get the knight into
he's going to go bishop d5 and then c4. So he's playing sort of what I was suggesting.
I suppose, yeah. Without
there's a big hole in f6 now.
There is.
And g4 is now. Well, you can go g4 and lock the knight out.
He didn't.
If he wants.
He didn't.
If he wanted to.
David didn't.
He could, yeah.
David didn't. David's up a half an hour on clock as well, which is handy. But you're always up a half an hour on the clock against Alex by move 16. If you know 10 moves of theory, you're going to be up half an hour on the clock, because Alex, around move 6 or 7, he goes into the tank, and he likes to explore. So that's what's happened in this game,
but not with double pawns necessarily. You're saying
no, not with double
pawns.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, was it the famous French philosopher? I can't remember his name, who said if you want to discover new lands, you must first lose sight of the shore. And I think bishop e6 was definitely losing sight of the shore. Because this is looking a little bit too easy to play. I have to say,
right, fair enough. Anyway, this is what happened. We got this. David sacked a pawn, but he wants to use that to just kick that knight. If that knight has to go to g7, it's going to be suffering, and it won't be coming out for a long time. And then then I guess then of course David can invade on the d file. And again, that's one of the problems for Alex, that he has no control over d8. So he can't try and stop this rook coming down the d file. Partly because of this bishop on g5, but also because if he was able to, he would then drop the a pawn and probably end up with a lost ending. So he's scuppered somewhat. So anyway, h6 happened. We took, and I thought this was just beautiful play by David here. He transforms. Can you go back there for a
second? Sorry. Sorry. I know. Instead of taking an e6, I presume there's no other possibility there. Just to show, f5 would run into e7 check. Like f5, you'd love to keep keep your king side pawns intact, but e7 check.
And if you go like this, it's even
then
worse.
Then it's rook d8 check then. Yes, that's the reason why he's obliged to take an e6.
So he took, the king went back. Finally, the knight comes there, trying to get rid of that b5 knight. And I guess Alex is hoping that he might be able to wriggle out into an opposite colour bishop ending.
But the problem is, these lines now, it's once again, as I said earlier, the real problem is that bishop on c4 is a monster.
It's a monster.
And finally, we have another. This is almost it's not quite the same, but he gets himself into another opposite colour bishop ending, as he did against Mark Heidenfeld, but a far superior one. And whether or not this is as winning as it looks, if he's got an advantage on time, this could be very hard to play for black. Just if the bishop just goes back to c4 and you just double the rooks on the 7th rank, it's you're threatening mate on h7, for example. Now maybe it's not as bad as it looks, like in terms of what the engine might say. I don't know, but it does look as if there's going to
Says
be trouble there.
the engine says it's just plus 1.7 or 1.8, so it's not like totally lost, but it's not particularly comfortable, and David is up 40 minutes. So so we had a5, a6, bishop there, just wanting to try and, well, 8, I guess, to snatch the g pawn here.
It's kind of unlucky because you can't really break out so easily on the queen side. I suppose b6 has to be played here.
That's what was played.
Okay, just have to do it.
Yeah, and David not interested, doesn't care, and he played. Yeah, Alex played rook there. I guess if you play pawn takes. Oh yeah, well of course if you play pawn takes, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt after this.
Yeah, and then but you got bishop e5 though.
Yeah, and now we go back to here, and we're threatening bishop c4, and it's all over.
Is it all over? Rook f4? Well, it's not over. Rook f4 stops bishop c4. And also, in any case, if bishop c4 check, you'd have king f8 because the bishop and e5.
Okay. I will play. Yeah. I'll play here instead. Bishop e4.
Okay, that's fine. I by the way, of course, it's obviously vastly superior for white here. You just have to go rook f4 anyway.
Okay. And now I go here, check.
King f8.
Oh, okay. How am I wriggling in there? Okay, it's not as good as I expected, Mark, but it's not something,
Well, maybe it's not as what about rook e7 there? Rook d to e7. Is that a move?
Okay, just to try and wobble the bishop here.
Because then you have to go bishop f6.
Okay. Oh, but then.
And then you go rook e to f7 check.
No, you go this way check. And then you say thanks.
Oh, because you got it discovered. Yeah. Alex probably saw that.
Yeah, and in fact, and then boom. Yeah. Okay. So
that's and David would have definitely seen that. Yeah. So that's So that's why he went rook f6 there, and
but he spent 10. He's now down to 5 minutes playing rook f6.
Because if you could make that line work, it makes sense. He gets activity. And he gets a well placed rook and f4. But now
look, and he's going. He went to e4.
Yeah.
Knowing that he can't be stopped going to d5 when he needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got rook h7 here as well. Yeah. So the rook went to h6 to stop rook h7, like in our idea earlier. Now finally the pawn was taken. This was plopped here, and we went rook d5. I guess, not sure what that move. Oh, maybe just to snatch the c pawn.
Oh no, you're playing for mate here.
Okay.
Or at least you're playing to win the rook on h6 more than likely as well. Now you're setting up all sorts of nasty things. Check. Yeah.
You have to go up.
Yeah.
Play check.
Going to get mate here.
King went here. Rook
h4
went
check.
Here.
Oh, you went there first.
Yeah. Which is very beautiful. And now there was rook check, and the problem here is that if
King h4.
Yeah, King h4, and then of course there's just rook checkmate.
Takes g4 checkmate. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So that was. I think that was a really well played game by David. He got a very nice opening, and he just used his better pieces, his better development. He took control of the d file, and Alex basically he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, I suppose the one thing is that I've actually been on the black side of positions like that quite a lot because I used to play the modern defense,
right?
The modern defense as well as an Imzovich, and you often find yourself in those positions. And this idea of the resource bishop e6 is a good practical way to open up the game. And I think that was probably. I don't think black's position was that bad out of the opening.
Right.
But he just made the wrong strategic choice, possibly.
Anyway, we're now going to come to the game of the day.
Eamon.
The game of the
against
day
Mark Heidenfeld.
against Mark Heidenfeld. Two of our friends.
Old friends.
Yeah, and we're going to spend. We're up to 10 o'clock, but we're not stopping here, folks. We're continuing.
We're going to
on.
watch this one as well.
We're going to go through this one because this was a terrific fight. Eamon told me yesterday. I had a long chat with him yesterday evening after his game against Tom O'Gorman, and he told me that he asked me who he was going to be playing today. So you can tell that he's taking this seriously. And he knows, he's checked the pairings, and of course, let's just check the pairings here.
He probably wanted to know so he could bring his backgammon set, because he and Mark Heidenfeld used to love playing backgammon against each other. So
exactly,
I'm sure
they'll
have a game or two here.
And actually, the Irish backgammon championships are taking place in Dún Laoghaire, I think, over this weekend. And Sean Casey, who's the number one Irish player, used to be a member of Dublin Chess Club many a day.
I didn't know. I used to get so bored watching all the Irish team playing backgammon at team events.
Fair enough.
It isn't for me.
No. Okay. Anyway, but let's go on. We play. Anyway, Eamon went for a perk, and Mark plays simply, takes a bit of space, and amazingly, like I was looking at this, and the engine thinks after this move here. I think maybe here. Yeah, I think this is it. The engine thinks that black is already a tiny bit better.
Well, I can tell you straight away, as a perk player, the first thing you'd be thinking of is chopping on d4 and playing d5, or even just playing d5 here straight away, because so you have knight.
You'd want to play this kind of position.
Well, because the knight. Well, I was just going to say, the knight can't get to c3. The knight's on d2, so it's kind of misplaced.
Yes, you go here.
So now you can drop the knight to g4.
Mark is frozen.
And the bishop has to drop back to g1.
You're back, Mark.
Oh, sorry. You lost me, did you?
Well, I don't know. Who knows whether I lost you or you lost me.
We found each other once again, Jonathan.
I have all these songs from the 80s singing in my head at the moment.
What a great decade for songs. So knight g4 here.
Yeah, knight g4.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
Sorry, no, I interrupted you there. No, just saying that, like, the second, it's a bit like a French advance. The way black never chops on d4 until the knight's committed somewhere. So once the knight can't go to c3, I'd be tempted to take on d4 when the knight in d2, and then play d5, and after e5, knight g4. Right. Just as a straightaway kind of a thematic idea, the bishop drops back to g1. Now I don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean,
but I know in that Manuel Lasker, that Germany against Ireland rapid competition 2 weeks ago, you had a game, I think in was it the first round, where you had, as black, you had this kind of structure, and I think you played a move like h5 from memory.
I did,
and you played e6, but I think this night was on c6 maybe.
Well, you see, you can get away with this now because the knight not being on c3, you have time to do this. Right. And the only thing you have to worry about is white playing the e6 pawn sacrifice here. But it's already too slow for white to achieve it, I think, because you can just take it, possibly, and you could even but e6 might still be interesting,
right? Because
let's say if you're playing the white side here, you play e6. Pawn takes bishop d3, and you immediately want to attack that pawn before black can play knight h6 to f5, but there's knight f8, and this is pretty unclear actually. If black manages to maneuver the pawn queen c2, so king f7 we'll run into knight g5 check.
Yeah, that's not going to be nice for you.
Yeah, that's going to be bad. Yeah.
Although, Mark,
okay, we can't. No one's going to take us seriously, Jonathan. If I certainly won't take me seriously.
This is the delayed bomb cloud, I think, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But maybe. Well, if we go back though, I don't know if that's the right plan. but the thing is, e6 is so you mightn't want to take on e6. This is the thing. Maybe this isn't the right way to play
here,
it. For
you play what? You play.
Well, you can always just go and play a move
Here?
like knight f6, and yeah.
But that looks
The only-
horrible.
Pawn takes check, king takes.
And I guess hoopla.
I would have gone knight e5 check there maybe, but it looks a bit more forcing because
Oh, okay.
although it's not that clear again,
Yeah.
maybe not. Knight takes, pawn takes. I've no idea. Like the engine would either say that this is totally fine for black or completely bust, but it's not going to say equal.
It's good. It's Mark. It's good to see that you're getting off the fence there now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I said it's not going to say equal. But
Okay.
maybe this idea of e6 is critical. So I don't know if we go back to the starting position there of the line where
This is the C takes.
So maybe
C
so
takes D5,
yeah.
E5.
But that's just one idea. So it's only
here.
one idea.
Oh, I
there.
suppose you could also play E6 here,
Or just knight b6.
or
So-
knight B6.
so-
Yeah.
Knight b6, and now if h3, knight h6, g4, then you can play this idea from the Rossolimo just to play f6. And
Not
you play
F5. You don't play F5
No.
because you want to kind of do so. You want to open lines. I guess
This feels like it's a smidgen better for white though,
Mm-hmm.
but black is going to have one of these kind of like cagey positions. It doesn't feel like it's as big an advantage you were saying for black here as it might have been. I'm not sure.
Stockfish
maybe
likes
the-
is saying up a pawn, up 1.2, 1.3
For white.
for white. Yeah.
Okay. So the idea, but you're looking at this bishop and e3 and everything blocked in the center. So maybe this plan with taking in a quick d5 is wrong. Can we go back to that position just for a second? Because it is a very interesting
This one,
position
yeah.
here. So what I had been thinking was that you could somehow attack on those light squares. Is there even the idea to somehow, well, I was going to suggest play an e5 or something. That doesn't feel right either, because you're creating a weakness on d6.
So you're suggesting this move, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no threat, by the way, here.
No, there isn't. And that's why.
Maybe
Eamon just
Eamon.
castled.
Oh, so he just
He
castled. Okay,
Said,
there's no need to force it, like
Yeah.
because
And then Mark went bishop c4.
Okay. Now
I d-
there's a whole load of things wrong with that, if you ask me,
Okay.
or at least not wrong, but just look suspect. So straight away, I'd be very tempted to go pawn takes d4 again.
Okay. Yeah.
And if he takes back with the pawn, I'd probably just go d5 straight away.
Hey, right. And then of course,
And-
if you take this way, you get this with
Knight
tempo.
b6.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's no way to defend your d pawn here.
Yeah, so the d pawn goes,
that
and
would
then
go-
white's pawn structure
yeah.
is very poor. Yeah.
So d5, and if you don't take and you go back here, yeah, again,
Similarly poor structure. Yeah.
exactly, and you just got here, and off we go.
But maybe Mark had something else in mind there, because Mark, often does transpose back into open Sicilian positions, and he's quite skilled at them.
Oh, so
might-
he'd be thinking knight takes.
I wouldn't say knight takes here because of e5, although the knight could drop into b5 then. But it looks as if it's getting very active for black there. He might have tried bishop takes instead. But so knight b5 here. Well, once again,
Okay, anyway, so you think bishop takes? Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably what Mark would have had in mind, because you can't immediately play e5 here. At least
Okay.
it looks as if you can't.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. He played
Black looks comfortable.
after bishop
It's a good-
c4.
yeah.
Knight g4 happened. Bishop went back to g1.
Yeah.
Now Eamon took.
And by the way, Eamon has got a very unusual playing style, very unusual attacking style. Eamon, I mean this in the best possible way. Like Eamon, when he was very young, when he was 15 years old or 16, was actually, I think he was offered the sum of £50 to turn professional.
Wow.
He maybe can clarify that, and then he said no because he had family responsibilities. He was working from a very early age, and but he also went and he played in the Olympiad and defeated. He was the first Irish person to beat a grandmaster in the form of Gideon Stalberg. So he was a very dangerous player, and he played a very unusual approach in that game in a mainline Scheveningen. He tends to create his own chances, and using his own unique way of playing. And I've lost to Eamon myself a number of times.
Well, this is a classic Eamon game, and I think if he was a bit stronger physically, I think he would have produced a fantastic.
He's very
game.
rusty. He hasn't played much now of late, and so if he missed some opportunities, I'd say it's probably down to that.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got this, and then Eamon went e5.
E5. I'm not surprised at that now, as Eamon does play on the Kilkenny chess team. So I've watched the way his style of play.
Yeah. And so we had, and we got this kind of interesting thing. And wait till you see this. Okay, so here we've got this, and now, right. So folks, I was looking at this position, and every so often, I would turn on the engine. Bold of me, I know, but there you go, and. I was just saying, okay, well, you just take the knight, and then you move the rook to b8, and you put you move the knight, and you grab the b pawn, and you're having a great position, and white is has to move the bishop out of the way on g1 to be able to castle, that
all looks pretty logical. Jonathan, yeah,
but that's not Eamon's move.
Well, I'm just thinking that. Well, okay, if Eamon's not taking on
d2,
he might be. Oh, I was just
going to say no, but that's what I again. This is what I was
knight
looking
c4,
at.
or even knight c4 straight away, maybe.
I don't know. I think that doesn't quite work, but I think. But I was looking at. I was wondering, what happens in this position. But
knight c4 and rook takes b2, maybe.
Exactly, and there's things are happening here. It's going to be bad. So
that white king is looking very sketchy in the middle of the board now.
It is, and I think he should have gone for this, but he being Eamon, he thought for a long time here. I think it's thought for 5 minutes, which for Eamon is a lot. He plays pretty quickly. He doesn't get in. He's nowhere near in time trouble ever.
Well, he's a very creative player. Also, he's attracted to tactical
chaos.
Lines.
Yeah,
he loves chaos, and he loves basically seeing what's going to happen.
Right. And this is such an event. So
he's one of the bravest chess players I've ever met, but he also will sometimes sacrifice the sensible for the creative, because it'll give him a bit of joy as well as a player.
So we had this, and then. Yeah, and it was just
it's such a horrible position for white to have.
And now, so in this position,
obviously,
Eamon played queen h4 check.
I was going to say that you have to. Well, my first instinct there would be to do the same, to try to stop white from castling. So go check g3, queen h3. But maybe there's something better here. I just noticed
that's what Eamon played. That's what Eamon played in the game.
But now I look at it. So the first instinct is. White's gonna. So I'm anticipating white wants to castle.
Yeah.
I could play queen check, and if g3, queen h3, but I could also see here that if queen h4 check, g3, queen h3, you can probably just go king f2, so the king can just walk away.
Yeah, but what other moves are in this position?
The big thing. Well, so instead of looking for moves, what I'd be looking for is the fact that what white pieces are unprotected, and especially because the rook. Geller, who played in Dublin Chess Club once, used to say that rooks always belong X-raying kings from a distance, if possible. That bishop on e3 is hanging. So knight d5 immediately
knight d5
comes to mind.
Yeah, if Eamon had found that,
it's almost immediate resignation.
It's saying the machine is saying +2 for black in this position.
Because the knight is threatening to come to c3 if you play bishop f2, there's knight takes f4.
Here.
But just I think it's just everything's collapsing.